G'day everyone, James Greenshields from Resilient Leaders Foundation. Just wanted to chat to you about a comment that one of the young guys, an electrician on our Harmonic Leadership program made in reference to the utilisation of paraphrasing when he's now giving instruction to people. Now, how many times have you seen someone give instruction to a task, they ask for no feedback, and then they come back and the task's not done the way they want and they start demanding answers. They start getting really upset and annoyed. In the military, I faced that with one of my bosses, and because I didn't have a huge amount of emotional intelligence back then, it actually sent me plummeting over the space of 4 months into a real dark place. And it was a guide there one day, a senior ranking officer from another country who had been watching this whole thing. And it came to this one crescendo moment where I'd planned this whole activity for the, which was the culminating activity for the organisation, and my boss just took me apart, absolutely took me apart. Anyway, I was driving this the senior ranking officer from another country back to out of the bush back to the base, and he just looked at me and he said, "How are you feeling?" And I couldn't really describe how I was feeling. I was really upset inside. And I just said, I just don't feel I can do anything right. And he didn't engage that. He made a very astute remark though. And he said, if someone wants you to do it a certain way, they've got to invest time to show you how they want it done. From my standpoint, you've done a great job. And that's all he said. He didn't engage me in my sorrow. He didn't attempt to appease me or pull it out. He didn't attempt to denigrate anyone in the situation. He just made a very pointed observation. And I took a huge amount from that whole story. But one of the things that I took away was the need as a leader to give of myself, my time, my resources, my understanding, my knowledge, and give that to the people around me, to the people working with me, or on my team, or just anyone in the world, which is why I do what I do now. So with this electrician made this comment that what he's doing now is when he gives this task, previously he just would have expected to be done a certain way and then got really upset when it's not done that way. Now what he's doing is he's asking the next question. So does that make sense? Or, he's encouraging the questions back at him. He's encouraging the person to paraphrase back to him what's just been said. Now in the military there's a great little technique called a back brief. And I used to use this ad nauseum when I was commanding soldiers, lieutenants, officers in Iraq and operations and all the time. And I still constantly use this myself now that I've been out of the military for 10 years. But the simple concept of a back brief is you articulate what you want done. In the military you give orders. In my daily life now, I present an intention, or I create a scheme, and we sit and we discuss, and then we get the concept there. The back brief is when a person takes that concept, goes away and sits with it, distills it, analyzes it. Where do they fit? What is the real intention underlying this whole thing? What is my part of that? Now, a critical element, lots of people do that, but there's a really an often missed element of it, and that is, what's my boss wanting to achieve? I'm part of his strategy. Yep. Now, in a more flat organisation, that strategy's been developed together. That's awesome. But in a hierarchical organisation, or just tiered organisation, then the boss is trying to achieve something. Now, if your boss is within a larger construct, the organisation, then that organisation's trying to achieve something as well. So just say he's an electrician and your boss is like, you're subcontracted in as a sparky. So I might not have there might not be a boss above my boss, but there is a person that's benefiting from what we're doing, from our services. And that is the homeowner, for instance, or the developer, or whoever it is. So let's just take the example of a homeowner. So I get asked by my boss to come in and sort out this electrical system. This is what he wants me to do. But if I sit and I utilise the knowledge I have, what's he trying to achieve? What's the intention of doing this for the homeowner? Then I can go, cool, awesome. I get what he's trying to achieve. I'm not just going to put light fittings in, but I'm going to make sure that, hold on, if we put a light fitting in over here, I can tell straight away that half the room won't actually be lit, and therefore they won't get what they want. Or I'm putting this light fixture in. This light fixture doesn't give them the ability to dim or to turn up the light. So realistically, if we would put a dimmer switch in here, that would be giving them a far better experience of what they're trying to do in that room. They can take themselves into and put themselves in another person's place, and therefore their gift of service becomes so much more refined, so much closer to the actual intention of the person engaging in your service. So don't just get them to paraphrase back to you what you want them to do, but get them to give you their understanding of what you're trying to achieve. You want me to put a light fixture here and a light fixture here? Cool, yep, that's one way. You want me to put something here so that this room can be used for multiple things, including TV or whatever. And you want more light over here, you want less light over here. Now I can work with that and I can suggest, well, if you put this here, you put this here, boss, then, and therefore you've got a proactive approach. You've got someone within your team who's thinking. Remember, leaders don't train followers, they train leaders, and they get out of their way. When you start doing that, utilising the paraphrasing or the back brief, but in a way in which they're starting to understand the intention, not just the mechanical task, you start taking people to the next level in your organisation, and things start being so much more harmonic for you as a leader. Trust you got something out of that. Much love.